So the Chicago Bears are signaling a major shakeup, and they're essentially trying to do something new at a crucial roster position. But it's not for the reason that you may think it is. So there seems to be a roster shakeup in the Bears secondary, and the players involved are Tyreek Stevenson and lesser heralded Terrell Smith. I just talked about him just this last week, so check that out. This isn't a 1 week thing, though. Actually, it's been happening since that Washington Commanders debacle. I'm still trying to get over it. And what's up? This is Sports Talk Bears. I'm Sean. Hey, do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Would bless us more than you'd know. Would love to have you part of this fast-growing community, but it's starting to feel like family. So let's get to the content here. And I think it's becoming absolutely obvious that Tyreek Stevenson needs to step it up. This isn't without credence, regardless of what the coach says publicly. And I'm going to go to this chart. This chart was brought to you by Kirsten Tanis on Twitter. It kind of has some defensive efficiency stats, and it fills out a little more what I'm talking about here. So if you look at it, at other information bolstered by this, it's becoming clear Tyreek Stevenson, he has a low 56.8 overall PFF grade. That's the lowest among corners on this defense. That's out of 8 quarterbacks on the Bears. But then you look at Terrell Smith, he has the highest, way smaller sample size, but still the numbers are starting to tell a story. And a lot of these numbers are gleaned from a chart that the NFL uses that tracks cornerback separation. It tracks corner target rates. That's how a lot of these ratings are compiled. And kind of looking at it in general, you see that Jalen Johnson ranks among the best in the NFL. And Stevenson, he's literally at the bottom. And I'm not saying Stevenson is completely out of the secondary. That'd be silly. But Terrell Smith ascending at the perfect time might be exactly what this secondary needs. So the big question remains, is Terrell Smith taking over? Let's chop this up again. I'm going to close that. So at first it looked like it was a disciplinary move, right? Tyreek sat the bench to start the next game. It coincided with Terrell Smith coming back and ready to go after a 3-week absence. So let's look back at the Commanders game. I got to cover that, give you that background. Second-year cornerback Tyreek Stevenson under a lot of fire after that game, rightfully so, right? Completely out of position, jawing with the fans, even missed the beginning of that Hail Mary play, and well, you know what happened there. So here's something that got lost in the shuffle, though. Stevenson was really struggling before that. He was getting beaten coverage regularly in that game. He also had a key penalty with a knucklehead move. So while that final play was the headline of the game, Stevenson struggled long before that in coverage and with the key penalty. So, however, Stevenson, he's been a key player over the last couple of years. So let's chop it up in a little more detail. Let's really get into this. So against the Cardinals, Smith, obviously, disciplinary move. He was with the starting defense to open the game against the Cardinals. And there's been a surprising trend in snap counts ever since. I'm going to get to the numbers on that. But first, let's just hear what defensive coordinator Eric Washington, what he has to say about this thought that Terrell Smith is taking over. So we'll continue to utilize both players. We feel great about what they both can contribute to our defense. You saw Terrell in the Arizona Cardinals game come within inches of getting a pick, and you saw him get a pick last week. Beginning of the season, Tyreek is running down the sideline with the ball in his hands, scoring. We love what both players bring to the table. I mean, that's well and good. He's saying that he likes both players, and a rotation is a natural response now that Smith is healthy, right? But there's further support that Smith might be taking over as number 2 against Jalen Johnson. It's worth looking at, right? So let's kind of look at from weeks 9 to 11. Smith has been the Bears' highest graded cornerback, and that's per PFF. Small sample size, I get it. But we're talking about only allowing 3 receptions during that time, allowing a 44.8 passer rating. That looks elite. And then you compare that to Stevenson, 7 receptions and a 117.9 passer rating. I mean, it's just interesting, but keep in mind that this is also while playing 16 more snaps in coverage. it's these numbers that are driving a narrative that this is a takeover. And I think it might be coming down to that the secondary is blessed to have another ascending player, right? And Smith is a different type of cornerback than Tyreek. That's a great thing. Versatility, right? It gives us more versatility and looks in coverage for this defense on the back end, and even makes us even less unpredictable with both guys in the rotation. So, but I like how a story from A to Z Sports, it really breaks it down, and they kind of go through, for example, in the Bears Week 11 game against Green Bay Packers, Stevenson on the field for 26 plays. Packers run the ball on 15 of those plays of Stevenson in the game. 2 of those, Stevenson was in on the tackle. So hearing from Washington regarding that, Tyreek, he's an explosive tackler, really good at the point of attack. If teams are scheming to force the corner into a position where he's at the point and he has to make a tackle, you really like what he can do. So let's look at Smith's utilization during that game. He was on the field for 17 plays against the Packers. On 15 of those snaps, the Packers needed 5 yards or more to get a first down. I mean, obvious mid-deep passing situations, right? That's when Smith was placed in the game. And this is what Washington had to say about what he likes in Smith's game. Terrell, I just love his man coverage ability. I love his savvy, his understanding of route concepts, being able to feel pattern pressure, and ultimately executing the coverage. So keep in mind, too, we did see a rotation between these two guys last year during their rookie years, and this was when Tyreek was playing his absolute best ball of the season, and even more versatility is welcome. PFF, this irks me. PFF has this defense ranked number 7 in the league, absolutely elite in key areas. Just so ridiculous. We're wasting yet another elite defense. Let's just keep going, though. This is painful. 5th in pass coverage, 12th in pass rush, best tackling team in the NFL. We do not miss many wrap-ups. And Terrell Smith, he just had a really nice interception against Jordan Love this last week. And his toughness as a player, it goes all the way back to college for the Golden Gophers. And like my main reason for bringing up those defensive statistics as well is that we're the only team that ranks even in the vicinity of that's out of the playoff hunt. It just further outlines that coaching matters. This head coach has really cobbled this up. So let's go and talk about Terrell Smith. I'm going to go on a tangent here. This guy's toughness as a player goes all the way back to his time in college. And this is at the University of Minnesota. The guy started 48 games for the Golden Gophers. That's a 5-year player. And during his time in college, he learned to be a tough, scrappy defensive back. He's always willing to take on bigger wide receivers. And he's always played with an aggressive mindset on each play. And I think that's why he's fitting in so well with this Chicago Bears secondary. And with a star like Stevenson, with a star like Jalen Johnson, his play and his attitude is absolutely demanding that he's on the field. And after his rookie season, this is what Flus had to say. We love where he is right now. He's really growing, really improving. We love where his tackling is, his coverage ability. This guy competes, his takeaways, all those things are really good. He just has to continue to improve. And I think we're seeing him improve. I think he's a hidden. I lost my mic. Sorry about that. So let's get back to this. I think he's a hidden gem of this team. He can play in the slot. He can play on the boundary. He can give the defense just much needed flexibility. Glimpse of it last year. Now we're actually having the full vision of who he's becoming as a player. And I just absolutely love watching this dude play. Now we've got his rookie season in the books last year, kind of the rookie report on him. And I think it's really important to keep an eye on snap counts this week against Minnesota between these two guys. I mean, we're looking at either a big wake-up call for a player, hasn't shown a lot of maturity and mental toughness this season. I'm talking about Tyreek Stevenson. Maybe he's regressed a bit. Maybe he's gotten a little too comfortable within the scheme. Maybe he's reading his own press clippings.
but it could be just we're seeing another weapon develop in the secondary. A guy that can continue to combine with Johnson and Stevenson, further solidify an already lethal secondary for years to come. And when it comes time to pay guys, when it comes to the future of this secondary, having another guy that turns out to be elite at corner, it can help with contract negotiations. It can help with hard team decisions when it comes to salary cap ramifications. And hey, it is fantastic to be blessed with talent on an ascending team. And man, disappointing in the defense performance, how we are wasting it. But man, I still have a really optimistic view of the future on this team. We just got to get the head coaching thing right. And but I'm also getting a little tired of saying next year. So you guys let me know what you think about Terrell Smith as a player. I think he's going to end up being yet another blue chip in this already elite secondary. And can't wait for the Minnesota game. Bear down. We'll talk soon. See ya.